Hi, I'm Mayim Bialik. More and more young women are finding themselves in situations that suddenly become threatening. But remember, no one has the right to force you to do anything you don't want to do, and no one has the right to hit you. If something like this has happened to you or someone you know, please don't keep it to yourself. Tell someone. Tell a parent, tell a relative, tell a friend, tell a school counselor, just tell someone so that you can talk it through.
Hey, you guys. If you're a Gen Xer, you probably know that the 1980s were the golden era for very special episodes. Like I have talked about in the first 3 videos of this series, playlist link in the description, very special episodes became a regular part of the sitcom world in the late 70s and early 80s, thanks to shows like All in the Family, Different Strokes, and Facts of Life. You know the kind of episodes I'm talking about, when a comedy show all of a sudden gets serious and ends with a PSA about drug abuse or predators or something like that. Every once in a while, you'd even get a warning from one of the actors before the episode began. By the 1990s, the dark and serious episodes of sitcoms began to fade away, but there were a few shows that still dared to keep the very special episode alive. And that's what today's video is all about. The 10 best trauma-centric sitcom storylines of the 90s. Most of the shows on this list willingly shoved the laughs aside for an episode or two. In Blossom's case, it was about 15 times. But there was one very special episode of the 90s that happened due to a real-life behind-the-scenes tragedy. My name is Natalie, this is my so-called Gen X life, and here are 10 times that 90s sitcoms went dark and got super serious for a very special episode. This video is brought to you by me. I just wanted to take a quick second to tell you about my weekly live streams on Tuesday and Friday nights, where we chat about all things Gen X. We watch old videos, laugh at nostalgic social media posts, and reminisce about all the things we loved in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. If that sounds like a good time, all you gotta do is subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications so you know when I go live. And now, back to the video. Full House had its share of very special episodes during its 8-season run. I've talked before about DJ's extreme dieting and self-image issues in the season 4 episode Shape Up, and in the season 6 episode Silence is Not Golden, Stephanie finds out that a classmate is a victim of abuse. In its 8th and final season, the ABC TGIF staple did it again with the episode titled Stephanie's Wild Ride, which aired on November 29, 1994, my 17th birthday. Here's what happened. Stephanie and her friend Gia meet some boys at the mall food court. Gia is desperate to convince these 2 fine 90s fellows that she and Stephanie are in high school instead of telling them the truth that they're in middle school. She convinces Stephanie to go along with her story, and then they're nearly busted when DJ and Kimmy Gibbler show up. Gia pressures Stephanie into letting these boys that they just met drive them home, and that's when things get serious really fast. The drive begins with a lot of speeding and sharp turns, then they decide to drive on the wrong side of the road and almost hit a truck head on. They narrowly avoid the collision. Luckily, Stephanie makes it home alive, and she tells DJ all about her irresponsible afternoon. Meanwhile, everyone else in the house is busy obsessing over their Super Nintendo and not paying any attention to what Stephanie is up to. That's when Gia shows up at the Tanner house and tells her that their new crazy driver boyfriends are outside and ready to go for a ride.
Steph, you're not going.
What are you talking about?
I'm sorry, I can't let you go.
Gia, tell the guys to hang. I'll be right out. I thought you said your sister was cool.
She used to be.
I can't believe you'd squeal on me.
I can't believe you'd put me in this position. What about all those times that you snuck in after curfew and I never said a word? That's different. This is dangerous.
Steph, are you coming or what? Yeah, I'm coming.
Dad?
Yeah, dude?
Gia, better go without me.
Big sister DJ wins this showdown, and Stephanie tells Gia she cannot go before stomping off to her room. She is hella mad. DJ and Stephanie start to argue until Danny comes in and tells them that Gia's mom called and said that Gia was in a car accident.
Steph, I just got off the phone with Gia's mom. Gia was in a car accident tonight.
No.
Yeah.
Is she okay?
Well, she got some bumps and some bruises, and she's going to be in the hospital overnight. She was with 2 other guys, and one of them broke his leg and got cut up pretty badly. They were really lucky they were wearing their seatbelts. Car was totaled. Didn't you say something about going out with Gia tonight?
Well, yeah. But
when Gia showed up with those guys, Steph decided not to go.
Steph, that showed incredibly good judgment. You have any idea how proud of you I am right now, honey?
probably too proud.
Stephanie apologizes to DJ, which was the cue for that iconic end of episode music. The sisters have a moment, and Stephanie decides she should tell her dad the truth about why she didn't get in the car with Gia and the boys. So, what was the lesson of this episode that's even cheesier than a normal Full House episode? Well, it was all about peer pressure, sibling relationships, and the importance of making good choices. 90s teens learned from Stephanie and her desire to fit in, which led to a dangerous situation. The episode also pointed out that guidance from the people who love you is crucial when you're growing up and navigating life's challenges while drowning in hormones.
She is literally the Polaroid of perfection.
At the very end of the 90s, the TV show Clueless, based on the 1995 film starring Alicia Silverstone, which was inspired by the Jane Austen novel Emma, gave us its version of a very special episode. In the Clueless sitcom, Cher Horowitz was played by Rachel Blanchard, not Silverstone. There's no Paul Rudd, but we did get Donald Faison, Stacey Dash, and Elise Donovan reprising their respective roles. The show was nowhere near as good as the movie. Honestly, it was so bad it had to rip off one of the best, very special episodes of the 80s and try to pass it off as its own. Tell me if this sounds familiar. Cher's love interest ends up in the hospital after a drunk driving accident. Then suddenly, in the final moments of the episode, things take an unexpected tragic turn. This one didn't include Matthew Perry, but in the show's defense, it did 90s up this very special episode format with an appearance from NSYNC. Here are the details. In the season 3 episode of Clueless titled None for the Road, it begins with Cher's 18th birthday, and everyone is planning her party while she gushes over her new beau Adam, played by Breck Wilson. The surprise for Cher at her party is a special performance by NSYNC at the height of their boy band fame, belting out their best version of Tearing Up My Heart.
Hey, those roadies are getting busy. Nah, man, those aren't roadies. That's NSYNC. Tearing up my heart when I'm with you.
When the party's over, Cher goes to bed and dreams of a proposal from Adam, while Murray, Sean, and Adam drive home after having too much to drink.
Okay, who needs a home ride? Oh, no, my man. The only thing you'll be riding is made apportionment. I'll do the honors, thank
Guess
you.
again, my man. Seen you drinking out of too many glass slippers tonight. I'll do the honors. See you in the morning.
Guns at 6:05.
Pistols at dawn.
Oh. Please get them home.
Come on, guys. We're out of here.
Hello? Oh, hi, Adam. I was just dreaming about you.
No, it's not Adam. Okay, I said it's about Adam. Look, Cher, there's been an accident.
The doctor tells Cher, Dion, and Murray that both Adam and Sean got banged up pretty good, but compared to most drunk driving accidents the doctor has seen, they were both very lucky and would be okay.
How are you feeling?
You should see the tree.
I am so sorry.
I should have never driven last night,
Yeah, you were the least buzzed out of all of us.
but I was still drunk. I could have killed you, killed Sean.
Right now, that doesn't seem like such a bad thing.
So when are they busting you loose, Crash?
I think the test will be done around 6.
I'll swoop by and get you. Tonight's ride will be tree-free, I guarantee.
I'm sorry I ruined your birthday.
You made my birthday. I'm just sorry all of this had to happen. I should have made you stay the night.
You know what they say? Nice guys finished wrapped around a tree with a DUI and no license.
I was really scared.
You know, maybe this is a wake-up call. I used to think I was bulletproof, but now I know I'm not.
Well, none of us are.
After Cher's visit at the hospital, everything seems fine. They make plans for a get-well dinner, and life goes on with a lesson learned. But then, we get the exact same plot twist that Gen Xers saw a decade earlier in the Growing Pains episode Second Chance. If you want to see how that went down, check out my video When You're Blindsided by an 80s Sitcom. Link in the description. Anyways, as I was saying, Adam appeared to be getting off the hook with a DUI charge and a suspended license. But that suddenly changes.
Hi, Daddy.
The hospital just called about Adam.
What happened?
Sure, there were, complications.
Daddy, what are you talking about?
A little while ago, Adam died.
What?
I'm so sorry. There were internal injuries.
But he can't be dead. We just saw him this morning. I mean, it's not fair. He learned his lesson, Dad. He learned it last night. I mean, he won't do it again.
The episode ends with a PSA from the Clueless cast, but honestly, it just doesn't hit the way that the Growing Pains episode did 10 years earlier. Without Matthew Perry or Tracy Gold or Kirk Cameron, the magic just isn't there. Despite its shortcomings, this episode of Clueless did warn of the dangers of underage drinking and driving. But that message was communicated so much better on Growing Pains.
When this boy meets
The Boy Meets World segment was copyright claimed and blocked globally by Disney. No matter how I edited it, they wouldn't allow it. Not even a few seconds. I had to cut it completely from this video. Sister was one of the very first sitcoms to address the dangers of kids communicating with strangers on the internet with their very special episode, Model Tia, back in 1997. This was one where Tia and Tamara learn a very hard lesson about people online. Turns out, from the very beginning of the internet, people weren't always who they claimed to be. This one begins with Tia chatting online with a famous fashion photographer of models named Verique Dalton. Tamara, who is just as much of a fashion-obsessed 90s teen as her sister, decides to send him a photo of Tia with dreams of both of them making it big in the fashion world. When Verique shows some interest, the twins ask their parents, who are on their way to a 70s party, if they can go to his place for a photo session, but they are told no. Tia cancels the session, but Tamara wasn't taking no for an answer. She decides to go anyway, pretending to be Tia, which leads to Tia going to this guy's house to get her sister back.
Well, one good thing about the 90s, we all know how to use a computer.
Verique takes pictures of Tamara, and things seem to be going well until he asks her to change into a skimpy bikini. This is when Tia shows up, and Verique is way too excited that he has twin teenage girls all to himself.
Not gonna happen. If there's one thing I learned from my daddy, it's how to say no! Hi, Tia. So no, I am not wearing this itty bitty little... Tia?
Twins.
Boy, Tamara, are you in trouble?
Ray and Lisa get home early, and Roger tells them that Tia and Tamara are in trouble. They find Verique's address on the computer, and meanwhile, Verique reveals to the twins that he's a fraud.
We know you're not really Verique Dalton.
Well, that's the beauty of these little computer friendships. You see, I can be anybody I want. Come on now. What are you scared of me for? I'm a real nice guy. Once you get to know me, how about it? Would you two quit your wiggling? All I'm looking for is a little love. Oh, my gosh. What's love got to do with it?
Lisa and Ray arrive just in time, and Ray knocks Verique out. When they get back home, the parents let the girls have it. Not only do they put themselves in danger, they also refuse to listen to their parents when they were told no. As a punishment, the girls get their computer taken away, and Tamara vows never to fall for an online scam again. And that's when this serious episode takes a turn and ends on a fun note.
Who is it?
Hi, my name is Montel Jordan. You know, the singer of This Is How We Do It. Look, my car broke down, got a real emergency. Can I use your phone?
How stupid do people think we really are?
Ah, yes, Montel Jordan. This is how we do it. Okay, I'm sorry. This episode shows that parents have rightfully been concerned about the dangers of the internet since day one, pretty much. It's only gotten worse with kids having so much access to the internet on their numerous devices. It really is a never-ending battle. Sister Sister just turned out to be one of the very first to jump on this parental bandwagon. It was pretty difficult to choose one very special episode from Family Matters. There was the season 2 episode called Life of the Party, where Steve Urkel is living it up at Maxine's rooftop party when his drink is spiked and he gets drunk and almost dies. Then there was the season 5 episode Good Cop, Bad Cop, where Eddie was a victim of racial profiling. But the one I'm going to talk about in this video is the season 6 episode titled The Gun, because it features Urkel rapping about gun control. Believe it or not, this one was actually pretty serious, and talking about it is probably going to get this video demonetized, but let's see what happens. The episode begins with a gang leader named Tony and her friends brutally attacking Laura and stealing her jacket. Tony gets arrested, but she's immediately let out on bail, so she finds Laura at school and pulls a gun on her. Laura is scared for her life, so she decides that she needs to buy her own weapon for self-defense, despite Urkel begging her not to. But moments before Laura can make her purchase, Tony shoots Laura's friend Josie in the arm.
If you don't see anything that you like, you tell me what you want, and I'll get it. And for a good price. Just ask Josie.
No way, Bob. No way in Hades is Laura Winslow gonna pack a pickle.
Steve, will you stay out of this?
Laura, you can't possibly be interested.
I'm just looking. How much is it?
Oh, Laura, you can't do this.
Oh, she's been shot. They wanted her shoes. God, Josie, you should have given them the stupid shoes.
Later on at home, Harriet and Carl discuss things with Laura and her friends, and they dispense their parental wisdom, while Josie's mom says that they probably need to move out of Chicago. Harriet and Carl don't think that that's the solution to their problem. The episode ends with Laura starting an event at Vanderbilt called Save Your Life, Turn in a Gun, and that's where we get Urkel's rap. And then the cast and crew give a PSA about gun violence.
Step right up and turn in your gun. The cops are here, so you don't have to run. Everybody knows that guns aren't cool, so turn in yours and don't get loose.
I'm Kelly Shanine Williams.
And I'm Jalil White. And every day in America, children are killed with firearms.
And every day, kids in this country carry guns to class. We have to do something about teen violence.
And if you're in a confrontation, it's okay to walk away.
Yeah, and let's start saving lives.
So before guns even come into the picture, squash it. Squash it!
This episode was written to address the increasing issue of guns in schools after 24 school shootings were reported in 1994. Oh, and one more piece of trivia. This Family Matters episode was Freddie Prinze Jr.'s very first acting job. Now we've come to the very special episode that was prompted by a real-life behind-the-scenes tragedy. It's not a very special episode in the traditional sense, but it was still one of the darkest sitcom episodes of the 90s, so I felt it deserved a spot in this video. I'm talking about the season 5 premiere of NewsRadio, titled Bill Moves On. It was the first episode after the tragic murder of Phil Hartman, and the show was forced to address his character's absence. Hartman's character was named Bill McNeil, the primary on-air anchor for the WNYX news radio station. Instead of a quick goodbye with a sentence or two from each of the members of the ensemble cast, this episode was an entire eulogy, not just for Bill, but for Hartman himself. It was a farewell to a great actor and legendary comedian, and it was filled with jokes and tears. It was incredibly difficult to film this episode because they had to stop and start several times. It actually took a few days to shoot because Hartman's co-stars just couldn't hold back the tears. The episode begins after Bill's funeral, as the character has died from a heart attack. There's no big shocking revelation or passing around of bad news. Instead, everyone is in their various stages of grief. Matthew in particular is in the denial stage, big time. He just wants to believe that Bill is still alive and traveling the world.
Well, okay, between you and me, Bill's really not dead.
Matthew.
This is all part of his secret plan, which he didn't tell anybody except me.
Secret plan?
Right. See, Bill always said that someday, when the time was right, he was going to drop out of society and move up to Afghanistan and start a boat chartering company. You see?
The main conflict of the episode becomes the staff's attempt to tiptoe around Matthew's feelings while helping him face reality. As the AV Club points out, what sets this episode apart from other very special episodes is that it's not about the person who is absent, but the ones who are still present. From the very first moment of the cold open, we are back at WNYX with their foibles and their endearing but doomed projects. In the most respectful way possible, Bill's death is turned into a sitcom situation that generates conflict, and it gives the ensemble a chance to respond. I had a really hard time writing this segment because this episode and why they had to do it still breaks my heart nearly 30 years later, so I'm going to share what the AV Club wrote. The perfect wake for a man who lived, breathed, and sweated show business, one of the all-time greats. Versatile beyond belief, blessed with one perfect sitcom role in Bill McNeil, and enough career highlights over enough other shows and venues for 3 ordinary people's careers. It's a great half hour of television that uses everything available to make its connections and doesn't burn any bridges while doing so, because the next day, you need to be able to get up and do it again. Bill moves on, culminates in that memorable scene in Dave's office where the staff welcomes back Catherine Duke and opens the envelopes that Bill left for them. It's an absolute tearjerker, undeniably cathartic for the cast, the crew, and the audience. We needed to know that NewsRadio felt the loss, and they definitely delivered.
Dear Jimmy, what can I say? The fact that you trusted me enough to share a few of your deepest secrets with me means a lot. I only hope that someday you'll reveal to the rest of the world the actual culprits behind the assassination of John F. Kennedy. Actually, this one's kind of personal, so I'll go ahead and do it.
Dear Matthew, I am dead. No matter what I may have told you about my secret plan, do not get on an airplane and fly around the world searching for me. Also, be assured that this is not just a further ruse to throw everyone off the track of my secret plan. Huh.
I'm sorry, Matthew.
Oh, P.S. The crow flies at midnight.
David, I suppose I should say I'm sorry for tormenting you so relentlessly, but I'm not. You enjoyed the game as much as I did, and you gave as good as you got. I salute you, sir. Salute! As for my eulogy, please make it as long and boring as is possible.
Oh, well, see, there, you did right by him.
Anything less than 3 hours I will consider a colossal failure.
Okay, you almost did right by him.
Just take it downstairs, put it in the van. Sir, if you want a desk, I know a guy. No, thanks. But, I want this desk right here.
All right. Let's go.
In season 5 of Home Improvement back in 1996, they gave us the episode titled The Longest Day, which starts out with Jill taking her 3 boys to the doctor for their regular checkups. Everything seems to be normal, except for Brad bringing his own urine sample, but then Randy is sent to see a specialist because there is some swelling on his neck, and he's been extremely tired recently.
What's the matter?
It's about the doctor. Dr. Medwick wanted the extra blood test because he was concerned about something that he felt in Randy's neck.
What did he feel?
Some swelling.
Swelling?
Yeah. He sent us across the hall to this endocrinologist, Dr. Kaufman, and she said she thought she felt a lump.
What kind of a lump?
A lump on his thyroid gland. She said they're usually benign.
Oh, God.
Well, benign is the good one.
Oh, good.
But there is a chance, a very slight chance, that it could be malignant.
It will take a day for the test results to come back so they know what's going on, which leaves Jill and Tim on edge. They are so anxious that they decide not to tell Randy at first, but it doesn't take long for him to figure out that something serious is going on, and that makes him even more worried than his parents.
A couple little things you didn't tell me either, Dad.
What are you talking about?
Like I might have cancer. How could you not tell me about this?
Because I didn't want you freaking out, okay?
Oh, so instead I read about it on a computer sitting in the school library all by myself. Why does this bad stuff always have to happen to me?
Well, bad stuff happens everywhere. Bad stuff happens to me all the time.
Yeah, but you cause it. I don't want to die, Dad.
Oh, come on, man. You're not going to die. Even if you had cancer, which you don't, you do not have that. It's a treatable kind, okay?
During the episode, we get a montage of scenes from earlier seasons of the show set to What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong. Home Improvement rarely got serious, but when they did, like in this episode, they didn't go sappy. It was actually pretty moving, especially when Jill has the heart-to-heart talk with Wilson about how things can change in an instant. The episode ends with Randy getting a diagnosis of hypothyroidism, not cancer, which means he'll have to take a pill every day for the rest of his life. No surgery is necessary, and everyone is relieved that Randy will be just fine. Oh, and hats off to Jonathan Taylor Thomas in this episode. He wasn't just the hottest teen heartthrob of the 90s. He had some serious acting skills. 1 year after Sister Sister addressed the dangers of the new World Wide Web, Smart Guy took that threat to another level with the episode titled Strangers on the Net. This is about as serious as it gets for a sitcom about a preteen, and it portrays a very relatable situation that any 90s kid could have found themselves in. The episode began with TJ asking Floyd for a video game called Starship Doctor, but it costs $55, which TJ thinks is reasonable, but Floyd isn't having it. That's just way too expensive. TJ's request prompts Yvette to ask for a pair of gold earrings, and Marcus wants a car. Floyd isn't going to buy anyone anything, so TJ retreats to his room with his cousin Karen and sulks about Floyd not buying him the game he wants. This is when Karen tells TJ about a kid's online chat room. TJ is excited about getting Starship Doctor for cheap, but he worries he could get in trouble for having an illegal bootleg copy. Karen calls him a wuss, which immediately causes TJ to agree to buy the bootleg game. After meeting up with Marky 412 and conducting a successful transaction in a public place, TJ and Karen's new chat friend messages them again and tells them that he has even more games for them to buy, and they are both super pumped about getting another good deal. TJ sends a message to Marky 412 and tells him to meet at Dogburger, but Marky 412 says he can't leave his house because he's working on a new video game and trying to meet a deadline. TJ and Karen sneak out without Floyd's knowledge after getting some cash from Marcus, Mo, and Yvette for telling them their new car isn't working because it's out of gas. They head over to Marky 412's house and are immediately impressed by this middle-aged man's basement full of computers, TVs, video games, and comic books. After showing them his new surfing video game and letting them test it out, Marky 412 immediately goes pedo and asks the kids to play the game in their underwear, since they don't have swimsuits.
See, you're surfing in your sweaters and jeans. It sort of ruins the reality of this. You really ought to be in swimsuits.
That may be winter wear in Hawaii, but not DC, which stands for darn cold.
But you're wearing underwear, right? I mean, boxers are just like jams. That might work. What do you think?
This episode of Smart Guy is like the 90s version of the famous Bicycle Man episode of Different Strokes. TJ immediately senses the danger while Karen misses it. He pulls her out of the situation and makes her leave with him, while promising Marky 412 that they won't tell their parents. When TJ gets home, Floyd can tell something's wrong, and he finds TJ in his room where he finally comes clean about what happened. The police get involved, Marky 412 is arrested, and then the episode is tied up into a neat little bow. But not before Floyd shares his fears about meeting people online.
I was so stupid.
Come on now, it's not your fault.
Everybody keeps saying that. Everybody wants me to feel better. Well, I don't.
Look, you made a mistake, TJ. Now, you went over to a stranger's house, and you shouldn't have, but we're all just glad that you're safe.
But he wasn't a stranger. I met him on the net. He was a nice guy.
You know, that's what scares me about this whole internet thing. I mean, you're talking to a guy before you ever get to see him, so he feels like he's not a stranger. But you know what? He is. And that's probably why you felt like it was okay to go over there. Now, sure, the internet let that guy in the house. But doesn't it connect you to a lot of good things and good people?
But how do you know who's good and who's not?
You don't? But if you're not sure, you can always come to me. I'm open 24 hours a day. No access charges, no busy signals. You can always get through.
Don't know about the future, that's anybody's guess. Ain't no good reason for getting all depressed.
I think it's safe to say that the queen of 90s very special episodes was Blossom. That show tackled everything: underage drinking, grief, divorce, racism, teen pregnancy, gun safety, eating disorders, and drug use, among many other serious topics. But the episode I'm going to talk about in this video focused on assault, consent, and safety. I'm going to have to be very careful with my words so I don't get in trouble here on YouTube. One of the very last episodes of Blossom was titled The Date. The show had already been canceled and was burning off the final episodes they had already shot, one which happened to take a very serious turn during Blossom's date with the hottest and most popular guy in her high school, whose name is Josh, played by James Marsden.
So what about Saturday night?
You're serious about this?
I'm serious about this.
Not that I'm trying to talk you out of anything, but why me? I mean, you could have practically any girl in school, and if what it says on the bathroom wall is true, you already have.
Well, you're attractive. You're bright. You have incredible style. You're warm. You're witty. You're unique. Should I keep going?
Sure.
Okay. You're challenging. You're special.
Okay, you can stop. I'm sold. Saturday night, I'd love to.
Okay, I'll take you up the date.
You'll need my address.
346 Woodlawn. I memorized it. Yeah, in case you said yes.
Now I am impressed.
Good.
In The Date, Blossom is literally struck with both force and surprise at her date's sudden violence and subsequent apologies.
Look, I told you.
Would you relax? Why are you getting so upset? There's nothing to be upset about. Let's just both enjoy this.
Okay, look, this isn't funny.
You take it easy.
Would you let go of me? You're scaring me.
Keep your voice down.
Let go of me! Oh.
Blossom, I'm sorry. Blossom, I'm sorry. Where are you going? Blossom!
Blossom is shaken and confused as she is confronted with a dilemma over whether to report what happened. Initially, she blames herself and is uncertain about whether to report it.
Dad, can I talk to you for a second?
Sure, hon, what is it?
Well, before I tell you what it is, I want you to promise you won't get angry.
What's the matter?
I lied to you about how I got hurt. I didn't slip on anything. Josh hit me.
You what?
Dad, it wasn't really his fault. I mean, I got him all frustrated. I got all dressed up so that he'd find me attractive, and I did everything I could to get him to like me. I'm really ashamed.
Ashamed, sweetheart? You have nothing to be ashamed of. You didn't do anything wrong.
I let him on.
No, that doesn't matter. Now listen to me. Nobody has the right to hit you or try to make you do anything you don't want to do.
That was so scary. I pushed him, and I broke away, and I got out of the car, and I just started running. Thought my heart was going to explode.
I got plenty of buddies who'll be glad to say that you're always coming on to them. It'll be your word against ours. And I don't think you need a reputation like that following you around. Do you? Hey, where are you going?
To the police.
I should note that NBC was hesitant with this episode because they wanted to make sure a family-oriented audience with young kids could watch it. The sexual aspect of it was very much subtext, and they did it in a way that the youngest viewers got the important message that no means no. The episode ends with Mayim Bialik as herself, talking directly into the camera with a closing message.
No one has the right to force you to do anything you don't want to do, and no one has the right to hit you.
Well, we've made it to the episode I'm sure you've all been waiting for. The one that Gen Xers still talk about to this day. The season 4 episode of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air titled Papa's Got a Brand New Excuse. Fresh Prince had a few notable, very special episodes during its run, including one that tackled gun violence, another about racial profiling and bias in the police. There was also an episode about drugs. But I think for most of us, that nothing comes close to Papa's Got a Brand New Excuse when it comes to a 90s very special episode. The story began with Will working at the Peacock, the student restaurant at Los Angeles University, when he recognizes someone he hasn't seen for 14 years, his dad, Lou Smith. Lou had abandoned his family, which of course caused awkward conversation. Lou tells Will that he's now a self-employed truck driver and he had recently talked to his mom, and that's how he knew Will was in Bel-Air with Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv. The two show up at the Banks mansion and Carlton and Ashley are excited to see their Uncle Lou, but Aunt Viv is not happy. She does keep her feelings to herself though. Uncle Phil, on the other hand, makes his feelings very known.
What are you doing here?
Philip, can I see you in the kitchen, please?
Yeah, Uncle Phil, he owns his own trucking company now.
Well, one truck, but I am my own boss. And I'm making a little money.
Really?
Yeah.
Why didn't you send any back to the wife and child you abandoned?
Hey, Uncle Phil, man.
You promised.
Will and Lou spend some time together and bond, as Lou tells his son that the real reason he left was because he was scared of having a kid. Will forgives him and is ready to give him another chance. The two plan a cross-country trip so they can spend the rest of the summer together. But Phil is skeptical. He doesn't think that Lou has truly changed.
He made a mistake. I'm sorry that everybody can't be as perfect as you, Uncle Phil. But if I can forgive him, how come you can't?
Because he's not doing this for you. He's doing this for himself. And if you think any differently, then you're a fool.
I've been waiting for this for a long time, my whole life. And ain't nobody gonna stop me. Come tomorrow, I'm out of here.
Oh, yeah, I don't think so.
Who cares what you think? You are not my father!
Uncle Phil talks to Aunt Viv, who helps him realize he's being selfish because of his hatred for Lou. Will and Uncle Phil apologize to each other, while Will says that he has to give his father a chance to be in his life. Uncle Phil understands and wishes Will the best, and he prepares to leave for the summer with his dad with a promise that he will return to Bel-Air when he's done. But then, Lou announces to Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil that he has a shipment to make and must leave immediately with an extra driver, so he cannot take Will with him. Lou and Uncle Phil get into a heated argument, and it gets really intense before Will walks in, packed up and ready to go.
Now, you gonna tell Will or not?
I'm not gonna do your dirty work for you.
Fine. I'll call him from the road.
Yeah, then why don't you do that?
Yeah, I'll do that. Daddy-o! What's up? Some business came up I gotta handle. So we're gonna have to put our trip on hold. You understand?
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Just for a couple of weeks.
I understand.
Maybe a little longer.
Yeah, whatever.
It was great seeing you, son.
You too, Lou.
Will calling his dad Lou makes it clear that he is done with his dad. Lou can't think of anything else to say, so he just walks out without saying anything. At first, Will seems to be okay with his dad abandoning him again, but he wishes he wouldn't have wasted money on a present. And then we get one of the most memorable scenes ever from a 90s sitcom.
Who needs him? Hey, he wasn't there to teach me how to shoot my first basket, but I learned, didn't I? Hey, I got pretty damn good at it too, didn't I, Uncle Phil?
You did.
Got through my first date without him, right? I learned how to drive. I learned how to shave. I learned how to fight without him. I had 14 great birthdays without him. He never even sent me a damn card. The hell with him!
Will.
Nah, you know what, Uncle Phil? I'm gonna get through college without him. I'm gonna get a great job without him. I'm gonna marry me a beautiful honey, and I'm gonna have me a whole bunch of kids. I'm gonna be a better father than he ever was. And I sure as hell don't need him for that, because ain't a damn thing he could ever teach me about how to love my kids. How come he don't want me, man?
According to writer David Zuckerman, the episode was written to showcase Will Smith's dramatic acting talents. Smith actually described that breakdown scene as one of the most difficult of his young career because he wasn't sure how to properly convey the right emotions. During the first take, Smith was stumbling over his lines, so director Shelley Jensen called cut before he got to the final part of the scene so it wouldn't be spoiled for the audience. Smith yelled in frustration. James Avery reportedly pulled him to the side for a pep talk and told Smith to look him in the eyes during the scene for guidance. The second take ended up being perfect, the one we saw in the final cut of the episode. And when it was done, Uncle Phil and Will are hugging, and Avery apparently whispered into Smith's ear, "That's effing acting right there." And there you have it. 10 times that 90s sitcoms went dark and got super serious for a very special episode. Let me know what you remember about these episodes in the comments below. Check out my very special episode playlist that will pop up here on the screen here in just a second. And be sure to like and subscribe and turn on notifications for future videos and live streams. Okay, bye!